Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Rafe Gal. This is Lufia 2. We're going to do an ancient cave run today. Haven't done one in a while, but today is special. We're going to be playing one of the ancient cave for my 3rd anniversary on YouTube. This was the first game I posted, and I have done a run every year. Posted on March 23rd. And you know what? I feel like some traditions are worth keeping. So we're gonna go with it. I figured this is something special. Before we get into the run, I'm gonna take a quick moment here to do a few shoutouts and announcements before we start. But make sure you watch to the end as well. I'm not sure if there's going to be 1 or 2 videos yet. It'll really depend on how long it goes and how deep we go. So, without further ado, I'm going to start off by saying I know I'm not going to be able to thank everybody who's been involved with this from the very beginning. So I'm just going to go through a quick list and say thank you to Kyle for sparking the idea, to Jimmy and Rick and Beefy for kind of pushing me along early on. Thank you to Steffi and Brian for kind of being adjacent streamers, people who have also been working on these projects who've kind of given me a little bit of inspiration along the way. Mike and Kyle and Tony and Mark for joining me in my randomizer races and keeping me going on those. Recently, I've been having a lot of conversations with Eric, so thank you for kind of giving me a little bit of a boost. Thank you to Dora for helping me get it all set up, for giving me the time and space to record this obscene amount of video game playing. Dora is also going to be helping me when I get my new computer. It's hopefully a when, not an if, with getting some improved sound equipment. I'm looking forward to that, and she helped me when I did the first mic upgrade as well. She's good at that. And finally, thank you to Brad and Malcolm and Tara for really continuing to inspire me to do this. Every time somebody asks me why I do this, there's a couple answers I have. One of them is it gives me a sense of closure on these games. That is for the Let's Plays. The reason I do this is because I keep having people that I know tell me, hey, I appreciated this. I know, especially a lot of people, but especially and consistently, Brad and Malcolm and Tara have been the ones who keep telling me, hey, I needed that today, and I really enjoyed that. So it was nice to hear a voice. And I get to see a comment or a like and a comment on my Facebook or something from them, and a lot of times that's all I need. That makes it all worth it. So thank you to everyone else who's subscribed, who's reached out, who's commented in the past, who's participated in the XCOM runs when we've done them. Should be another one of those coming up with Phoenix Point at some point here as well. Last announcement. In the description for this video will be a link to my new Discord channel. Technically started this a week or 2 ago to share randomizer seeds with the crew that I race with, to be able to have one central hub for sharing times and sharing videos and sharing files. And I figured, you know what? Let's not just keep it at, me and 3 other people, me and 4 other people. Let's make this more of a community, because as I said, I keep hearing from people, hey, I really appreciated that, and I needed to see that or hear that voice, or I really enjoyed that, I hadn't thought about the game that way. And I figure Discord's a great way for people who all have that same feeling to get together and share that, especially right now. So, once you're done with this video, or in a separate tab, go ahead and click on the link for the Discord invite in the description below, and feel free to join us. You can see us chatting about the runs we've done. You can see us, we're going to do some live streams. I may or may not be participating in that, but I know Tony and Mike especially have been talking about that, and you can get on Discord and watch people play live, join in the voice chat, or just text chat, post video game news that you're excited about. I figure it's a good place to get that started. I'm curious to see how it'll do. So, with that, let's get started. So, we're going to go ahead and do our usual party. Now, the last run I did, we did successfully kill the jelly, but it was a starting run. It was a run from the real game where we could bring items in. This is going to be a blank slate run. If you haven't seen the any of these Lufia 2 runs before, I should actually, real quick, I think we're going to go... I keep hearing different things. I'm gonna stick with Sully. So if you haven't seen one of these runs before, the way this works, we're going to be, should actually do this as well. I'm going to be diving down into a 100 floor randomly generated dungeon. This is... Clearly haven't played in a while. Did that horribly, but that's okay. So yeah, 100 floors, randomly generated. There is some sense of order to things. There are certain floors where we're going to have certain items spawn and certain monsters. Our goal on each floor is going to be to do what we can and then find the stairs. Pretty simple. And survive. At the bottom of this dungeon is the jelly. The jelly is that one of those red slime enemies that we just fought, with a blown up pixelated sprite, who is the boss jelly. And our goal is going to be to do, I believe it's 20,000 damage to him in 3 turns before we get kicked out. So we have to get to him. So 99 floors. And then we have to actually beat him. Along the way, our goal is going to be to get the levels we need to progress. We're going to go relatively quickly. Some people do this as a speed run, and I really like the idea of some of the competitive versions of this, where you have a 2-hour time window. So the way that some people do it is there's a 2-hour time window, and you have certain objectives to hit with it, and you get bonus points for things like how many floors you make it down in that time, and how many which characters you use. If you use subpar characters or subpar capsule monsters. Ooh, party room really early. That's actually could be really interesting. So one of the big things with Lufia 2 is this game has this really cool system where you can see all the monsters on the battlefield. And part of the fun of this is going to be routing your way around these encounters. So in this room, as you can see, every time the enemies don't move unless I take a step. I can turn by holding R, and I can swing my sword by hitting B. Both of these will, or if I turn, that does not progress. If I swing my sword or take a step, it does. So it's partially knowing how the enemies move, because each enemy type moves differently, and being able to predict their movement as best you can so that you can get into only the fights you want. One of the other little strategy things you're going to notice here is the enemies are slightly staggered. You can see like the two beetles, that far left one that just died was in the back, and that one that just got hit is in the front. That actually does matter for this. The back row takes less damage and the front row takes more. So you're going to see me trying to target the front row whenever I can instead of the back row. And I believe long knife is actually a pretty solid item. You know what, we're gonna keep Insect Crush on because it's gonna do double damage to bugs. So, a lot of this strategy, the reason we're not trying to kill everything is because there's very much diminishing returns, and because currently we don't have resources for that. You don't heal when you level up in this game. You have to actually use potions and such, and eventually, hopefully, healing magic to level up. So, which, speaking of, I should use a potion on Artie, because I don't have any way to revive people right now. And it's actually very important that you don't let people drop early on, because that's, you know, until you get spells to revive people or to, heal people, you have to be, like, those 10 potions are what we've got. Along with some of the equipped items can also have stuff like that. So, real quick here, you can see here, bomb attack next to the Insect Crush. Attack all enemies. And it's currently grayed out because Dakar doesn't have his meter built up. The meter in question is the IP gauge, the yellow gauge there at the bottom. Artie has a little bit on his. And the reason that that matters is those points let you use special abilities on equipment. And throughout, there are some of them that can be used for healing, which is very good. I'm trying to remember what the Thunder Ring does: attack, defense, and strength. Another light knife. So yeah, there's several ways we can heal, but they're all very restricted and very limiting on when we can use them and how much of them we can use. So, in the interest of preserving resources, until we actually get a healing spell, especially, there's not a whole lot of point to doing tons of fights. We're going to specifically target enemies that I potentially can get items from, or that I can get a lot of experience from. In this case, those eagles can drop an eagle rock, which is a decent item. At this point, we're pretty good on some of our XP for where we're at, I'd say. We've done several fights, which I would generally try and avoid. But that party room made it a lot harder to... party room is when you spawn a room that has, or a floor that only has 1 or 2 rooms in it. So there's all the enemies and all the treasure chests all in one spot. So one of the other things I haven't really explained is capsule monsters. Capsule monsters are a 5th party member that levels up with you. They kind of participate. You don't control them directly, but they are present, and they have a chance to attack at least. A lot of times they just run away, so there's kind of a stigma there. Sully we keep around because he has a good hit point pool and a decent strength. He also goes last. He's very slow, which means that if we kill the enemy before he goes, we don't have to do his animation. So it's partially just a speed thing as well. But he's less likely to run away than a lot of the other capsule monsters because he actually has the hit points to take hits. If they die, they automatically come back during the next fight at full health. They start each fight fresh. So they're kind of an extra resource there as well. And your capsule monster getting hit or dying is not a bad thing all the time, because that means that your party members who don't automatically heal did not get hit. So throughout this, you're going to see me double targeting enemies with Maxim and Artie a lot. And the reason for that is pretty simple, they're fast. Artie is very fast. The reason we bring Artie is because he's very fast. Especially later on, Artie being fast is going to be how we survive. There's items called the Deadly Weapons, Deadly Rod, and Deadly Sword, which can cause an automatic instant death at a very high chance. Artie can use those and is very fast, which means he can kill single enemies before they get a chance to act a lot of times. I want to say that's better than what we've got. Is that better than what he's got? No. It's better than what he's got. There we go. Okay. The other thing that Artie being fast does for us is lets us run away. So when we get into fights that we can't win, or we don't want to go through, Artie running away is going to be how we get through them. That was not great. I mean, we should be able to wreck it. It's not like it's a big deal, but that wasn't great. So normally when I do these runs, I have some good notes. I'm actually not sure where they are right now. So I am running without my notes. I will apologize in advance if I run out of things to say at any point, but I'm sure that I will manage to keep talking for most of it, like I normally do. If nothing else, this is literally my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all time, and I am definitely okay with just talking about the game as well. If you have not played this is a Super Nintendo RPG. Pretty typical of that era in a lot of ways, from what you can see here. The big things it has going for it, as I said, are the definitely the overworld movement thing with the monsters is a huge thing. It's really cool. There's also a lot of puzzle solving in the actual game. And then obviously the IP effects are a really cool addition to the battle system. The capsule monsters are really neat. And I genuinely think... Oh, those are mimics. We need to stay away from those. I really hope I don't have to go that way. And if I find a door, or the stairs at this point, I will probably just take them rather than go back. So yeah, so mimics are very powerful, first of all. There we go. Got in first. We got a back attack on them. I didn't mention before, but the facings of the enemies does matter. So if the enemies hit you from the side or from the back, there's a chance that they will get to act before you. So that's part of the movement thing. Mimics are very powerful. We don't want to get in fights with them. The red mimics are not as bad as blue mimics, but they are still bad. There's the stairs. So we do need to get back into this room. We need to be careful. But yeah, no, I did a run of this on pretty early on the stream. It ended up being a bit easy because I did it on retry mode, so New Game Plus mode, which gives you extra experience and money. So I did a very short grind at one point so I could do an optional boss, and the rest of the game ended up being a joke. But it's still fun, and you still have the puzzles, you still get to experience it, and I think one of the important things with this game is also the story. It's really straightforward, but the characters are very endearing, and the plot is simple and both simple and convoluted at the same time, and somewhat unfinished. This was very obviously, I mean, it's part of a series, Lufia 2. The other games in the series don't have nearly the quality of this. By the way, one of the signifiers of a mimic, in addition to being slightly off color, is that regular treasure chests can't be against walls. So the reason I'm prioritizing weapons here, so I prioritize weapons from Artie up to Dakar, because Artie is the weakest base character and the fastest. So if we start with Artie, he's going to round out his damage. He attacks first. There's the better weapons he has, the better chance that whatever it is going to die before other people need to attack. The other thing with him is he has the smallest pool of weapons. Most of the other characters can use a lot of different weapons, and Artie can't. So we start with Artie and move forward. Armor, we do the opposite, because as with the enemies, the backline characters for us, which in this case is Maxim and Artie, take less damage and are less likely to be attacked. So we want to make sure that Dakar and Guy, who are our frontline characters, have the better defense. We'll round it out a little bit as it goes, because Dakar and Guy are naturally high hit point, high defense as well. Okay. But yeah, no. It's a fun game. It's definitely worth checking out. And if you don't have the setup to do Super Nintendo games, then I would definitely recommend at least checking out the video for it. Like I said, this was the first video I ever did. I was watching a Games Done Quick Marathon, and they had a Lufia 2 Ancient Cave speedrun on it. And I was like, I haven't played that game in forever. I was really excited. I was like, I should figure out if I could do I should see if I could do an Ancient Cave run. I had just tried a little bit before that doing speedruns of a game called Refunked, which is a first-person platformer. It's very short, it's very relaxing and fun. I enjoy it a lot. I did a couple of videos of that actually as well. Doing like a demo of it. And kind of was thinking about just trying some of these just for fun. And as I said before, Kyle mentioned, hey, if you record that, I'd watch it. And I really hadn't given it a lot of thought at that point. I mean, I was recording I had already figured out some recording equipment to record speedruns of Refund. So I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot, I'll see what we can do. At that point I was using just a regular, USB headset for my microphone. I had some really simple setup, and didn't really know what I was intending to do by any means, and it went okay. But people enjoyed it, and that's the important part. Ooh, party room. Lizard party room. So yeah, kind of spun off from it was originally just going to be, I was going to record a few episodes of this, and then I ended up enjoying it. And here we are. So cores are this game's... The core enemy we just fought is this game's version of like a metal slime type enemy. They are very fast, they run away, but if you happen to kill them, they give you lots of experience. We would like to kill them. And this range of levels is where we can find them. So we will be looking very extensively at where we're going for a while. Yeah, I need to be very careful as I'm moving here, because those scorpions are moving based on my movement. There we go. So yeah, I enjoy doing the research. I enjoy playing or finding fun games from my childhood to play, or new games that I'm excited about. A lot of those have been Metroidvanias recently, especially the new ones. And we've amassed quite the collection of Metroidvania runs at this point. Still have the big two to do, that being Super Metroid and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I have done a Metroid game at this point. I'm planning on doing Super Metroid at some point. And Symphony of the Night is on my list, but it's on the long list, because PlayStation does not run super well on my recording software. So for now, it's on the shelf. It's on the new computer list. Along with the games that have crashed and blue screened, all of the other PlayStation games like Final Fantasy Tactics that I'd really like to play. Yeah. But yeah, we've done a Metroid game. Super Metroid, as I said, is on my list. Quick note, blue chests. Blue chests are rare items. You can take them out of the cave also. So, in addition to just being... Huh. So yeah, in addition to I don't remember what I was saying. I remember I was going to say in addition. But yeah, no. Lots of fun Metroidvania games. And let's see, I did the Disney block. I haven't done many of those in a long time. I'm kind of running out of good Disney games that are within my normal scope. And some of the ones I have left are frustrating at best. One of them stayed. So, the other problem I've run into with the Disney block is I've had a lot of random issues with copyright claims on them. And while copyright claims don't actually affect me because I'm not monetizing, it's kind of one of those like, I'd really like to just not have to worry about it if I ever did. Disney and Nintendo are the worst about that currently, along with a few obvious ones, which I'm at least more understanding of. For example, I got a copyright strike on Borderlands because, or flag, whatever it is. They didn't take down the video, they just flagged it so I can't monetize it. The original Borderlands has an intro video with a popular song on it. So it's the people who wrote the song take that royalty, even though it's just like a little bit of the... Buh. And the other one is, occasionally I'll have issues on Fallout. And that same thing, because they're actual songs. That's actually why I don't do radio in Fallout at all. So there are random healing tiles throughout the dungeon. They're very rare and they're very sporadic. So the fact that we just found one means that we are now in a position to kill all the enemies on this floor. And the reason I say that is pretty simple. We can heal for free. This is what I was talking about with resources. Yeah, no. The reason I don't listen to the radio on Fallout is really primarily because, well, partially because it's, you know, the same songs over and over again, but primarily it's because they're the ones, or the videos with the music in them keep getting copyright strikes, so yeah. Recently I've actually had Final Fantasy also flagging, specifically Final Fantasy IV boss music. And apparently, though, that's only flagging in Vietnam, so I'm not worrying about it. We really don't need to kill that guy. I'm a little all over the place as I'm babbling with this. I apologize, but you know what? That's fine. It's an anniversary episode. We're supposed to be I'm supposed to be reminiscing, right? So yeah, I would like to do more Lufia runs, but I haven't really been... There's not a good format to do them the same way there is with, like, Randomizer, where you can share with other people as easily. The only other person who's really been doing a lot of them, who has done a lot of them, is Tara. And like, I enjoy chatting about them when I do them, but it's not something that is being... It's not like you can do the same randomized seed in the same way, or at least not that I know of. So it is a completely different, like, two people racing this, it's really down to luck a lot. Which isn't the same thing by any means. It's still fun, and I'm glad that I know a few other people like watching them. I know Tara really enjoyed the game in general, including the regular game. I think Jimmy and maybe Kyle also played some in the past. I do think it'd be fun to do one of those like tournament style runs of it at some point. Like I said, it is just down to luck. But I don't think anybody else has... None of the people that I know that have been playing these are playing it for speed. And that's one of the big differences. So, I mean, just the idea of everybody just starting and going until you can't go is kind of fun, but it's really not the same, and I'm okay with just playing them on occasion and watching them. Watching some of the tournaments. They do a yearly tournament, and I've considered that as well, but I'm really not fast enough for anything like that. The people who speedrun this can consistently, semi-consistently get to the bottom in, hour and a half. Or less, if they get a good run. I'd have to practice a lot for that, is basically what I'm saying. They also don't let you take breaks if it goes too long, so my snack breaks would need to be on hold. Okay, those guys are both pretty bad, so we don't want to fight them. I believe that's a Sand Gorem. Lufia does have a very bad translation, especially for enemy names. Golems were listed as Gorems. They did lots of literal translations, so like a Lich is translated as a leech. Blaze Sword. That's, I can't remember if these characters can use that, but that's really good. Nope. Capsule monster food. Okay, so we're gonna give Artie the pumpkin jewel. That gives him an intelligence boost, which helps his magic casting. It's not super important currently, because we really need a healing spell. That's unfortunate. These guys are faster than us. Now I know. Feeding our capsule monster. So all the equipment you don't use can be fed to your capsule monster. The yucks actually matter because every time you feed him something he doesn't like, it does lower what the expectations he has, if that makes sense. I would really like to just finish this quick. You know what? Let's just do it. That was probably not the best idea, but I want to get him up to the second tier. So when you feed them, they evolve effectively into the next level. This one has a move called Perish Punch, which has a chance of one-shot killing things, which can be really useful. I'm gonna double check and see if we can get around. That was less than good. There we go. Nope, we're gonna have to go through those snakes. Use Sleep Stinger to hopefully put it to sleep. They're not that bad as far as enemies go, but they do have a chance to cast a move called Sandstorm that hits all of your characters. Area of effect spells in general are really, really nasty in this game, especially when you don't have healing. So you may also notice that whenever I go to the stairs, I enter from the bottom. The reason for that is because enemies always spawn facing down. So if an enemy were to spawn directly behind you, which is not common, but it is possible, if that were to happen, there is a decent chance that they would automatically get a back attack against you if you came in from a different direction. Now, it's not as big of a deal here as it will be later. Those are bees. We don't want to fight them. So we'll fight this instead. I believe these guys are fire? We'll find out. Yep. We do have a few regains at this point, which let us revive somebody if they die. But again, no magic. So these lizards are actually move the same way as those scorpions that I was manipulating earlier. They basically move at a 90-degree angle from you. So if you move up, I believe they move right, etc. So you can basically walk over to a wall and run into it, and as long as you're holding down your movement, they will continue running into the wall. or going around. So these dragon enemies do the same thing. They kind of move in a specific pattern opposite to you. Crap. There's our first death. I'm try and run away, because I don't want to try and fight that. Or I don't want to try and come back from a... I accidentally wasted one of those, that's great. So you can see this is kind of where we're starting to get into this problem where our characters are not getting as many levels as they would normally, and we're getting to enemies that are going to be doing a lot of damage to us. This is why we don't fight all the enemies. Now, you could argue that fighting all the enemies would give you a better chance of actually finishing it, because you're getting more levels. And to that I would say, yes, but how are you healing? Okay, I really need to get some actual armor for Artie here. Yeah, like that. Thanks, game. Definitely want to avoid those octopus enemies. So if you notice, during some rooms, instead of just holding the button down, I am kind of tapping it. And the reason for that is pretty obvious if you think about it. It's so that I can see the enemy movements more. It's easy to accidentally go 3 squares instead of 2 when you're holding it. It's a lot harder when you're just tapping it. The main times when I do that we're gonna wait on that. Healing up there before we go into the lion fight. They're really easy to get behind, and they give decent decent experience. Looks like we're gonna have to fight at least one of those dogs. But yeah, no. So the tapping is especially important when it comes to something like those. Ugh. That was more than I was expecting. Hopefully, we can still kill at least one. You see there, I rotated Dakar into the back, so he's less likely to be targeted. Okay. So I think we're gonna have to fight these. I believe they're hellhounds. I think we're just gonna have to do... Oh, no, we're gonna have to do both of them. Nope, they're just hounds. Let's see if we can just get a good... So Artie's the only one faster than them. Sully's helping. Again, having Dakar do a guard action there just to reduce damage. That is a blue mimic. The coloration is slightly off again from a regular blue chest. Blue mimics just end your run. They have a very small detection radius. They won't notice you until you get very close to them. So they're not a threat in that regard. They're still the most dangerous enemy that you will pretty much run into for most of this game. We need to be very careful moving around here. There's a few other enemies coming up here that are also very dangerous. So hopefully we can... Hopefully we can avoid them. There's a slim chance that we'll run into some that are blocking hallways or the like. If that is the case, then we will probably die horribly. But for the record, that's actually pretty standard for this. I mean, it's random. If you haven't watched any of these runs before, when I talk about our goal is to beat the jelly, it's like a long shot goal. I've literally had 1 or 2 runs where I've beaten the jelly ever. And one of those we came in with existing items. Lured that snail out of the way. They move very slowly, so luring them out of the way takes a while. And we could have actually been in trouble if that lion had decided to be more aggressive, but it didn't. So we'll take that. I did not read that right, but at least we're good. We survived. Still no healing magic. Lucky Blade is a cursed item. Ooh. Okay, so, cores. We're actually finding them, which is nice. Okay, here's the rest of the regular potions. Okay, so. Nope. So, these enemies were intended to have a very, very high magic defense as well, to make them even harder to kill. The programmers accidentally put in some, or the way that the values are programmed, it actually, or magic damage actually underflows, so, or overflows rather, so that it resets back down to a negative number. So they end up very, very weak to magic instead of very, very strong against it. So you can usually just use any spell against cores and get instant death. But they have to stay in for you to do that, because you will never be faster than them. Like, period. Also obligatory, bears! Honestly, bears aren't that bad because they're not super hard to come in behind and get a sneak attack, but not the best. I am really impressed with the number of terrible status effect removing spells I've found, and the lack of actual healing magic. Okay, we're gonna try these guys. So Garbusts are special enemies that are... Well, they're not special enemies, I guess. They have a chance to drop one of the items that we can get that is very helpful against the jelly. I haven't really talked about what we need for a jelly kill. So to do the damage you do to the jelly, you need a very specific set of equipment. We have found nothing for that yet. Literal nothing. The main thing you need is items that give you multiple, or that do a percentage-based damage. So for example, an item that might do, like, cut an enemy's HP in half would be a useful item. Another one would be, which there is one item in the game that does that. There's a few that do 1/3 or 1/4. Either way, they're going to do, you know, in the realm of 2,000 to 6,000 damage. And they're the only things that get that close. I'm also not remembering if my numbers are correct here, but regardless. Actually, that can't be right, can it? I'm pretty sure I'm not doing my numbers right. I'm gonna stop giving specific numbers. Either way, you basically have to do an attack like that in order to have a chance at the jelly kill. The other thing that is basically required is either something that does multiple attacks, or something that does a very, very strong single attack. So there are... So like the one we used earlier attacks multiple enemies all once. The one I'm referring to would hit a single enemy multiple times. So, for example, head attack. Headbutt an enemy at twice normal attack power. This is actually a kind of backup item that can be good. You get a very powerful weapon, and you go out of your way to I mean, even possibly buff attacks and then use that IP effect. The one that the crab drops is called a Cancer Rock, and it is straight up attack twice. There is one later that does attack 3 times, that's better, and there is one weapon that you can get in a... Ooh, crap. That you can get in a blue chest only. And the blue chest item is is capable of doing 8 attacks. I'm trying to remember if that's right. Well, it's been a good run. So, the enemy in front of me, I believe, is a ninja. I can't remember if that is a ninja or an assassin at this point. Either way. No, it should... Either way. Doesn't matter. This thing is going to hit us really, really hard. Possibly multiple times. We are not going to be able to get it to move because of where it is. They chase you once they see you. And there's a decent chance it's just going to kill us. But we literally have to go through it. This one is not as bad as some of them, but they are very fast. They are very powerful, and there's a decent chance that we're just going to die. These guys are only getting one attack, so we're good so far. So the trick is they can attack, they all attack before you. That's not good. That's also not good. That was my one heal, so if something happens now, we're in more trouble. So they have a chance to do an area of effect or an instant death. These ones apparently didn't, so I'll just take that. And they're not as bad as the future versions of these same enemies. The biggest problem... Hey! I was genuinely not expecting to survive that if you didn't guess by the reaction that I had. There we go. So yeah. Now that we're on floors where assassins show up, there's this really nasty possibility that they can show up at any time, and they just rush directly at you. So for example, we're skipping that entire room because that assassin is there. They will dash across the room and just snipe you. They come up behind you and kill you, and there's not a lot you can do. We did survive pretty well. We're at a decent level for this at this point, and we have gotten some decent equipment for surviving. But we haven't gotten any good equipment or the boss kill, except for the deadly rod we just found, which I would really like a curse lifter before I use it. I may just put it on Artie anyway. Generally, Artie's weapon doesn't matter for the jelly fight anyway. You don't want to equip like a cursed weapon on Maxim unless you actually have a way to get it off. Because if it doesn't happen to... Basically, if Maxim can't contribute, then you're just done. But Artie is the most powerful spellcaster in our group. Did I miss a stairs, or am I gonna have to go through one of these enemies? I'm gonna have to go through something again. Oh boy. So I guess we get to try this again now. once again, we have an assassin at the door. That's what the deadly rod does. And apparently I've just been freaking out about these for no reason, because this feels like a joke. I think these guys count as undead, so Artie's deadly rod won't actually affect them. Nope, never mind. Four rapiers, nice. Again, you see that power of that deadly rod, just single hit kills. And because Artie is so fast, a lot of times we're going to be able to get him in before the enemies. In fact, I'm actually probably going to switch around. We want Artie to be faster. Faster is good, especially now. More buff spells. We did at least get a decent attack spell finally, with Ice Valk. Spark Staff. Don't think anybody can use it, but glad we have it. Wow. 2 blue chests in the same room. I've never seen that before, that I can remember. Yeah, figured. When it's just one, the chances of you actually getting a kill are very, very, very low. Okay, we're not going to be able to get past that guy. Let's take our 2 blue chests and leave. I don't think he can use... Yeah, I'm pretty sure Artie's the only one who could use the stabs, but I can't unequip the deadly rod, so here we are. And for the record, again, that is why you don't equip the deadly weapons unless you're sure that you're going to be using them, because... Oh, another blue. That's good. We really don't want to get into fights with these flower enemies. They tend to have confusion or sleep effects, and status effects are really, really nasty in this game. Forgot to use magic, so I'm almost glad that worked that way. Still can technically work, even if you use physical attacks, but they do have a very good evasion rate and a very good physical defense. Seriously? Ice Valkyrie is one of the tier 3 spells. It's not the strongest one, but it's still a tier 3 spell. And no status effects that round, and Artie should finish it off. Actually, we just got another high potion. I'm trying to preserve those X potions as best I can. That was weird. Yeah, I really don't want to fight those. Green one stayed. That is exactly what we wanted. We are going to get a bunch of levels out of this. Just what we needed. 25, which is not bad. I don't have my chart to remember exactly what level we want to be at for this. Crap. I'm a little more willing to be prepared to take a risk at this point because we do have a healing tile right there. And we just got some levels. Okay. Okay, okay. The eyes are all really good accessories. You can see there it increases almost every stat. We're going to... I really hate doing this, but I think we're gonna go... Well, looks like we're gonna need to do this, so let's try it. And hope Artie gets lucky. Nope. Nope. He attacks... Okay. Just attacking Sully. Oh, never mind. So this is another semi-dangerous enemy. They get multiple actions. Any enemy that gets multiple actions, again, as I said, the stuff I've talked about, this is a problem. Well, we'll see what happens. So, multiple actions are one of the things that's dangerous. So are area of effect spells. And so are instant death effects, or status effects. So ninjas have 2 actions, and that's one of them that can happen. We got really lucky that we didn't get any knife throwers the first round. Knife thrower is a physical multi-hit attack that ignores defense. Needless to say, it's a really obnoxious move. And it's very powerful. Now, if those... We actually have Artie on par with them for speed right now, which very, very rarely happens. I'm not actually sure how that happened. I mean, Sonic Ring helps a lot, but there must be something else going on too. Technically, we could probably have him outspeed them, but I don't feel like it's worth it. For the slim chance at it. So we got really lucky that none of them did knife thrower the first round. If 2 of them had done knife thrower the first round, we would almost certainly have a good character. If all 3 did knife thrower the first round, it would have been a party wipe. Always having Artie target the one that has been attacked least, because he has the instant death weapon. I really don't want to deal with these enemies. I guess we've got 2 X potions left. We can keep fighting through. We really, really, really need healing magic soon, or we're probably going to end up getting an end to the run. Not immediately, just... We're gonna run out of items eventually. We're gonna be opening less treasure chests as the game goes on. We're gonna have more times where we need to skip sections because of stuff like that. We're gonna be using more potions to heal ourselves for every time we need to. So between all of that, there's a very good chance that we are going to end up needing very good chance we're going to end up needing more healing than we have available with this. I mean, right now we're down to miracles. Miracles are like an elixir in other games. It's a full heal HP MP, and it revives dead. I literally just walked into those ninjas. Well, let's hope we get lucky again. This is why you have to be careful. Jeez. Already outsped them. 2 physicals? 2 physicals. We'll probably be okay. I have never seen Artie outspeed ninjas like that I can remember. We must be getting some good levels that I'm not really processing fully. These guys can be okay for leveling, I suppose. I'm trying to remember if they actually have anything scary to them. I mean, they hit relatively hard, but everything does. That's not good. That's not good. Probably should have just ran. I need to get at least 2 of these guys down this round. They're attacking Sully, good. No more iron kicks, hopefully. I really need to remember to do better about walking into rooms, because assassins are so fast. You take so assassins and ninjas take 2 steps for every 1 you do. That's why they're scary. That's before the combat even starts. So they're very hard to avoid. Golems take 2 steps for your 1 when you're in a straight line with them. So they only are fast when they're charging directly at you. T-Rexes aren't too bad, and they're usually relatively easy to get a potential back attack in. They have lots of hit points, so it usually just comes down to deadlies, but experience is experience. I really don't want to deal with these. That's not good. Got in first, okay. Got rid of the back row guy. And one of the other guys on the surprise round. Hopefully Artie can kill this guy. Nope. We'll see. Magic Fruit's good for capsule monsters. Feed it to capsule monsters. These guys might be the undead ones. I can never tell which ones are undead and which ones are just resistant to dark with these samurai. Nope. Not undead. Undead are immune to instant death. That's why I keep saying that. If I keep saying that, I mean why I've said that twice. Okay, let's see what we got next. So generally the way this works is you want to give him one good item followed by 2 bad items. Every time you feed him something that he likes, if he likes it a lot, you're gonna end up with him becoming a pickier eater. Red Saber is really good. I think that's Maxim's second best. No. Never mind, it's not Maxim's best by any means, it's just a good one. So I was talking about different stuff that is beneficial for the jelly fight. The Red Saber is an attack that does 3 times damage, so it's a normal attack, but triple the damage you would normally do. Obviously, this is really good. So generally, the trick is going to be try and do as much percentage damage as you can in the first round and buff up our characters so that when we do those attacks, it's even better. So that that 1 3 times hit is worth it, or especially when we run into ones that are like multiple hits. What? I'm very confused. Hopefully Artie is not also confused. Artie is confused. Maxim is confused. Okay, I need to get that guy out of the doorway. So some of these teleporting enemies can accidentally, like, clip through the doorway. So that guy was in the other room previously, and now he's in that room. So he kind of got stuck in the doorway on his way through until we transitioned between rooms. And of course we couldn't see him during that time, which is why I ran into him. Oop, missed a door. So for the record, we are currently... Let's see. Yep, that was the floor 50. So we are currently halfway. Old armor. Can't remember if that's good or if that's cursed or if it's something in between. I should have dug up my printouts. We don't want to fight the vampires because they're undead. We don't want to fight undead because they can't be instant killed. More miracles, good. We need those. I suspect we're going to need to go through this way, and this guy is going to have to get out of the way, basically. That's unfortunate. We do have some regain, I believe, but I probably will just use another miracle here. No, maybe not. our dwindling supply. We have 4 miracles left. So the big trick with miracles is usually you want to wait until your MP is also low. But because we're not using a lot of magic, we're missing that part of them. So usually you would use so if we had a resurrection spell, instead of having to use a miracle, you'd just use Artie to resurrect them. And you keep doing that until Artie runs out of MP. And then you use the miracle on Artie to wake him up when he dies. That way you're getting... That's like a max efficiency for it. Now, that doesn't always happen. Obviously. Well, actually... Nobody can use it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, no, it's okay. So currently everybody has armor equipped that can heal somewhat. I also need to just get better about predicting when to use that. Like, giving Maxim... Having Maxim use his turn to heal the party could be good. Or if I think the enemies are going to be attacking a bunch, I can use Jakar So like in this case, oh, that one's too much, that one's too much. Come on, there we go. Go. So Jakar's armor is not just a healing, it is a full-on resurrects the rest of the party. Okay, so we are going to do something weird. We're going to go around here, and we're going to release the Hydra. Go away! Basically, I wanted it to have two options on where to go. If it went down, I can go around back up the top door, and vice versa. That's less than good, but at least there's only one of them. Songrock. Rocks are good. Female only. That's not worth it. For the risk that was. These are not actually an enemy I generally want to fight. Oh, that's not good. Yep, that was a mistake. That was a big mistake, and we're probably maybe gonna be able to get out of it, but it's at least gonna hurt us a lot. That's why. Okay, we're actually okay. Nope. So that uses Guy's entire, or Dakar's entire HP bar, or IP bar, but it's worth it. So those guys, Seraphico's, drop a fruit, kind of like the magic fruit over there that I mentioned. If you get a capsule monster up to level, up to its 4th form, and you have one of these fruits, you can give them, or they can have the ability to get up to the next tier, the M tier, or their 5th tier. Apparently, these guys can't be hit with instant death effects or something. Stop attacking Dakar! There we go. So we didn't get any, but it would give us our level 5 of our capsule monster if we got it, which would be really nice. Sully at M class is really powerful and neat. I actually technically like his 4th class a little better on design. His 4th is like a giant moai head. His 5th is like a centaur. They're both really powerful, and if we can get him up to that tier, that'd be really nice. You can see there, he's actually doing a lot more damage than he was before, and when he actually uses one of the special moves, like he used Heal Drop, it did a lot. It did like 300-400. So... Perfect. Done. Nope. Okay. Perfect. It's worth looking. Worth trying. Oh boy. So we got him first on this one. The only reason I approached is because I could get an easy back attack. Which means dragons almost always come in pairs, and we should be able to take 2 dragons out if we get a back attack especially. The reason for that is party. That's not good. That's really not good. So there's lots of bushes floating around here. There we go. And lots of big enemies, which actually helps us a lot, because it gives us a lot better maneuverability to try and sneak around. They can't hit us, or they can't approach us or block our path very easily. So, just for the record, to really drive home how good those, fighting those cores is, one of those blue cores, so the one that we fought pretty early on, is gave as much XP as that behemoth fight did. Also, hopefully, you're really starting to see what I was talking about with how much damage everything does and the lack of healing. At this point, I've got 3 miracles left, I think. That's pretty much my only healing resource, and yeah. We're getting into enemies that are going to be doing lots of attacks, that are going to be doing lots of multi-hitting attacks, that are going to have enough hit points that all of our characters attacking it at the same time can't take it down in one round, unless Artie gets a kill. Okay, everybody, including Sully attacking Cat. That's not good. Fedoras are... well, we have a chance to get a really good item out of this. I'm preemptively assuming that somebody's going to die, so I'm having the car use that. Just for the record, that was 5 attacks. And 5. And no Hedora Rock. So no cores. These are the last cores we're going to run into. If we can get some of these, we'll be in really good shape. If we get any of them, it helps a lot. As I mentioned a second ago, like, core XP is exponentially higher than the other stuff in the area. I want to say these just add another 1 on there, so it's like 100,000 instead of what we've been doing, which is like 10,000 per fight. Got it. Got one staying. This is probably gonna do a little bit of damage, but that's okay. Yeah, 55,000. Okay, so I want to get... So we got in first. What I'm going to do is actually just have... I'm going to not have Artie attack this turn. I'm just going to have Maxim heal on our free turn. And then I'm going to have Artie attack to hopefully kill him before he goes. There we go. And we got a miracle out of it. One. Even one of these staying, again, this is as much XP as any of the fights we're doing right now. 11,000 is more than, or is the same we're getting from dragons. I think those are 12, actually, for 2 dragons. So, yeah. Definitely worth it. We're not going anywhere near that golem. Because if it latches on and starts attacking us... Not good. I didn't actually notice that golem there. That's not good. Yep, that was a mistake. I should have immediately just gone in. And those are not the dragon guys that move opposite me, so I'm actually probably gonna have to fight them. Unless I can figure out whichever one. Okay. Yep, this is gonna be bad. So we'll see how we can, or how it goes. This is another one where there's a chance that there'll be no problem whatsoever, and there's a chance that this is just gonna kill us. Area of effect spells. Luckily we only had one of them use it. Could be a lot worse. And again, it's not like I'm expecting them to just instantly kill me every single time when I say it's bad. It's resources. It's the fact that we basically have to use more potions to go into this because that was really greedy and probably stupid. It's the fact that we have to use resources. It's the fact that we have to heal between. It's the fact that every one of these fights we have to do is a risk. If it goes just wrong. Okay. Sudden cure. So Destroy is an instant death spell. It actually has a very low chance of tricking or of successfully hitting. But figured it was worth it. So C Hedoras, instead of getting multiple attacks like the High Hedora, you get one attack that hits everyone. Got in first. Okay. I targeted the wrong one with the Ice Bat. That was supposed to be the far right. Now I just looked at damage. Nope, it one-shotted. Okay. We're good. We're good. Old sword. Reduces enemy hit points by 1/6. And very high attack rate. What do I want this on? I think we want it on guy? Yes, apparently that was the right decision, because we also got the Buster Sword. Nope. Worth a shot. Nope. These are the planned enemies I was talking about earlier that can potentially do stats effects. We don't want them. Although they were nice enough to fill our IP bar back up. So the next time we get in a fight... That's not the fight I want to get in for this, but okay. I think we want these two to defend, we want Maxim to sudden cure, we want Artie to attack. There we go. There we go. Another 10 floors down. Okay, so I think what we're gonna try here. So blue chest items are always good. And so are magic brood. Nope. So close. There we go. Tier 4 Sully. We get our Moai head. And he's no longer hungry. Okay, next up. And just had this realization that I could probably just escape out of that. We definitely don't want to fight more salamanders. So we are getting to the point where we're probably going to be fighting a little less. Is that... Wait a minute. Snow gas. Yeah, we don't want to fight these, but for some reason I was thinking that that was... Yeah, whatever. I screwed up. That was bad. That was actually really bad. Especially with a warm eye. At least these are manipulatable. These are the ones that move. I think these ones move opposite you, it looks like. $64. Still no healing spells. Warm eyes are scary. They can move sporadically 2 for 1. And they get multiple attacks, I believe. And can also do status effects and other nasties. Yeah, like that. And I just ran into one. Okay, already outspeeds him. Actually, Maxim outspeeds him. That's good. Already got killed. That's less good. I was hoping to attack anybody but Artie. $900 damage. Almost. Okay, that is a gold golem. We are not fighting it. Those are another run killer. Just for comparison here, I just went and fought these salamanders again, rather than go fight that gold golem. After how freaked out I've been by salamanders. Flame Jewel. Nice. Attack power and magic resist. And intelligence. More worthless spells. $65. There's our Dakar Blade. Dakar Blade, I don't think is actually worth equipping right now. Reduces enemy hit points by 1/2. So that is straight up, that is what we need. I think we're actually, if we were to make it all the way to the jelly at this point, we're actually at a spot where we might be able to do it. Now, I'm not sure we're gonna make it. again, we have problems, mostly in regards to healing. But at this point, we kind of just need to... Oh my gosh. Just be careful and avoid the... Avoid the bad enemies. Which is increasingly all of them. I totally just walked past that door, and if I hadn't, we would have been fine. And then we got lucky and there was one of them. If there were 4 of them, that would have been bad. That was weird. Okay. Well, I guess the stairs are up here. Well, I suppose, given my track record right now, I should be commenting on how awful this is and how this pretty much means the run's over. Because every time I've done that, it's come out okay. And actually, we just got a back attack, so it's possible. Nope, we're okay. Maybe. Probably. Relatively. Outside of the fact that I just used a bunch of healing items in preparation for surviving that, we're okay. Okay, we really need to be careful here. These are easy enemies to avoid. These are easy enemies to avoid because of the way that they move, the pattern they move in. You just have to get the pattern timed right. I was not expecting him to turn it up. That is 3 gold golems. We are getting the heck out of here. Second old armor. I forgot we have the old sword too. Yeah, no, this is really shaping up to be good. And we can potentially have 3 percentage-based attacks go off on the first turn. Yeah, this is gonna be good. If we can get there. Ah, he's following me. We don't want to fight this. B69. That was turned around a second ago. I'm gonna see if we can just... Yeah. Stop doing that! There we go. No, at this point, honestly, we just want to get through. Like, running from battles is an acceptable strategy. skipping treasure chests is an acceptable strategy. Like, we want to do what we can. Like, I'm gonna go back in this room because blue dragons are easy to avoid. I'm not super worried about getting trapped or chased down by these dragons. And it was worth it for a high potion. I just said it was worth it for a high potion. That says really a lot about the state of this game. So many X magics. And no healing spells to go with them. I mean, I guess at least we've got that equipment that gives us some healing in battle. And actually, the next time I get into a fight, I need to do that. That was bad. So I need to be. I mentioned earlier about pressing versus pressing the button versus holding the button. Wow, he just literally, that was unavoidable, so I don't feel too bad. Maxim just died. When you die, your IP goes away. So and these guys are immune to these guys are immune to status effects, or instant death. I forgot about the mirror. This might be it. And it's my own really, really stupid mistake. I didn't want Artie using his instant death effect on them. Oh wait, no. We're okay. Oh my god. Kind of had that moment of, I really just want to get rid of these guys so that doesn't happen again. And it went poorly. Let's just get out of here. That's a Hedora, let's just get out of here. That was not what I was trying to do, but okay, let's get out of here. So, Champion is the 3rd tier healing spell. That means that we can now heal between battles without using potions. We have a chance. Let's do this. So genies are not too bad. They're a little annoying because they do that absorb, which can drain your valuable MP. And these ones can use ground shock, which is a multi-attack. But overall, this is not bad. And actually, if we do get a few hits on us right now, that could be okay. We do need to build up our IP meter before we actually are going to beat the game. And we want to risk this? Let's risk this. Probably not the best one to risk, actually, in retrospect. Yep, that was not the right one to risk. So we just lost the IP we had. We need to fight something that doesn't cause instant. We still don't have a resurrection spell, so let's try not to do that again. So the things we're still looking for at this point are a Curse Lifter, party, Maxim's got his IP. I'm genuinely not sure if this is the best plan, but we're gonna try it. Artie's got his. I think the original plan of run every time is better. Probably also would have been better if we were just fighting one of them. So actually, I might try that. I really can't afford to have people dying. And that's not good. As long as they don't double up on Guy again, we're okay. But there we go. Using a little of Maxim's IP to keep alive. Better safe than sorry. Again, we have literally one resurrection item left. I can't keep letting people die, especially over stupid mistakes. Okay, so we're gonna kill one, we're gonna, or maybe two, in our pre-combat round. Let's see if any of them get attacks off. I'm okay with this just being a level up as well. Ugh. We have tons of X magics. Okay. I'm not remembering if there was a... on here. So that is the downside with genies, is they do that nasty drain all your MP thing. But other than that, I mean, honestly, this is pretty good. We're actually getting close on our IP. That is a fiend. That is an archfiend. I was wrong. This was a mistake, and we may be in trouble. I I've said that a lot recently, but a lot of things are mistakes at this point, and a lot of things can be true. We got lucky. We may not have actually gotten lucky. We didn't actually get lucky. Water gauntlets are party? Very, very good defense item. Those are archfiends. Crap. Okay, if those are actually both archfiends, this is not good. I guess we need to be alive. We need all our characters, so let's do this. It's just an ice rogue. Single ice rogue we can do. That's an archfiend with a leech. Do you remember how bad the leeches were? Oh my gosh. By themselves, I should have had, no, actually I don't have any IP to use it. So this is obviously way, way, way worse than just the leech by itself was. I'm gonna try it, I guess. So I basically just have to hope the leech doesn't kill Artie. That the and if he does, that the archfiend now doesn't kill Takar. Which he did. Well, it was a good run. We actually made it really far and had all the gear. Sometimes you just end up trapped in a room with two archfiend fights, and no way to get around them. So, obviously going to be at total defeat, and we are kicked back to the entrance at level 1. Picking my music. So, that was actually a really fun run. I wish we'd gotten healing items earlier, and I wish we'd actually gotten a resurrection spell. That last room was just terrible, though, and it really wouldn't have mattered that much one way or another. We got bad luck on who the leech attacked. And the fact that it killed Artie really wasn't good. We probably should have done a run on the second to last turn. But by that point, it was too late. So, hopefully you still enjoyed. Sometimes these runs, the end is the disappointing part. Because we were pretty much geared up for a Jellykill. It's just getting there. We still had a long way to go. And, gold dragons, and archfiends, and ghost ships, and all kinds of stuff is still in the way. But it was fun, and that's really the point. So, if you liked this, definitely check out the other content on my channel. hop over to our Discord channel and chime in. Let us know how your runs go, your strategies, if you have any interesting resources or tricks or whatever for this game or any of the others that get played on here. Link for that is in the description. And if you're watching this on the day it's released, this is not my only anniversary video. I kind of wanted to do something fun, so instead of my normal where I did one special video for the day, today I am doing a series of videos. Now, this is the only really special one. I'm doing something a little special with a Final Fantasy IV randomizer next. The video should actually be posted by the time this finishes. I'm gonna do a Zelda randomizer at some point. I've got a new game, and then 2 new games that I'm going to start. One of which I'll actually be finishing on my posts today as well. So stay tuned throughout the whole day. And I do mean pretty much the whole day. I don't intend to have videos stop posting until the sun goes down. As always, have a good one. Thank you all so very much for watching, for giving me the platform to do this, and continuing to watch. Have a good one. We'll catch you next time.